And she is helping to deliver our clean energy future. I was blown away when I first heard Natalie's story when I met her as a recipient of SBA's programs while I was celebrating Women's History Month last year in Detroit. And she launched Dunamis in 2012 as an energy efficiency firm, helping businesses use green energy to lower costs. But she saw the future and imagined the possibilities. So just 3 years after founding the business, she pivoted, and Dunamis began manufacturing LED lighting. And early last year, she announced they'd expand to produce electric vehicle charging stations as well. And Natalie isn't just imagining the possibilities for herself. She chose to start her business in her native Detroit. That's where she was born and raised. And because she wanted to give back and lift up her community. And she's doing just that. By the end of the year, Dunamis estimates they will create 100 new jobs and expects to double that to create 200 new jobs by 2025. And that's what happens when women lead. So everyone, welcome one of the entrepreneurial faces of the clean energy economy, Natalie King.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Administrator Guzman, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction and for having me at the second annual SBA Women's Business Summit. Again, my name is Natalie King, and I am the founder and CEO of Dunamis Clean Energy Partners and Dunamis Charge, which is an electric vehicle charging manufacturing company located right in the heart of the city of Detroit. And we are the first African-American woman-owned electric vehicle charger manufacturer in this world. Thank you. We currently employ over 135 workers, and we are on track to manufacture over 400,000 chargers by 2025, adding more than 150 good-paying jobs, including charger technicians, material handlers, engineers, and much, much more. I started Dunamis in 2012, and because I believe that clean energy technology gives entrepreneurs a true opportunity to do good for our communities while being good at what we do. Our success would not have been possible without the support that we received, really critical support that we received, especially during COVID from the U.S. Small Business Administration, and it made it possible for us to maintain our workforce during the pandemic. And as a result of President Biden's strong commitment to supporting small businesses and his investments in clean energy and manufacturing, we are growing, we are innovating, and we are optimistic about our future. The president often asks, where is it written that America can't lead the world in manufacturing? Well, as a native Detroiter, hailing from the automotive capital of the world and the CEO of a manufacturing business, I can say confidently, Mr. President, it is not written anywhere. At Dunamis Charge, we believe electric vehicles are for everyone. And I'm proud to say that this country has a president that holds the same belief and who fights for small businesses that look like mine. So with that, it is my great honor and privilege to introduce to you the President of the United States, Mr. President Joe Biden.
Thank you. My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. God. Ben, how are you, pal? One of the best guys in the United States Congress, Ben Cardin. Folks, welcome to the White House. It's a delight to have you all here. And who are those good-looking kids back there? They're your kids, all four of them? Well, stand up, guys. Well, I want you to know, like you, I had two brothers, three in our family, three brothers, and one sister. And my sister is smarter than all of us. Not a joke. She used to be 3 years younger than me. Now she's 23 years younger than me. Yeah. She managed every one of my campaigns for office, even back when I was in high school. We went to the same university 2 years apart. She graduated with honors. I graduated. And we had a simple rule in the family. Listen to Val. My sister Valerie is incredible. So guys, be nice to your sister. You're going to need her. You're going to need her. I promise. It's the same lineup. You're the oldest. Who's number two? Number two? Who's number three? You're twins? Are you guys twins? Okay. All right. This how it was in our outfit. Well, I'm so glad to see you all. Thanks for coming with Mom, okay? You got to take care of your mom. Dads are much harder to raise, but, you know. Before I begin to speak, the reason I spend a little time in the kids, I just want to speak very briefly about the school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee. You know, Ben and I have been doing this our whole careers, it seems. And it's just, it's sick. You know, we're still gathering the facts of what happened and why. And we do know that as of now, there are a number of people who did not make it, including children. And it's heartbreaking, a family's worst nightmare. And I want to commend the police who responded incredibly swiftly, within minutes, to end the danger. We're monitoring the situation really closely, Ben, as you know. And we have to do more to stop gun violence. It's ripping our communities apart, ripping the soul of this nation, ripping at the very soul of the nation. And we have to do more to protect our schools so they aren't turned into prisons. You know, the shooter in this situation reportedly had 2 assault weapons and a pistol, 2 AK-47. So I call on Congress again to pass my assault weapons ban. It's about time that we began to make some more progress, but there's more to learn. But I just wanted to send my concern and hearts out to so many parents out there. I've been to so many of these sites, as Ben knows, by virtually every one. And one of the things you folks should, I know you do know, but you should focus on. You know, just like when in the military, when my son was in Iraq for a year, other places, there's so many members of the military coming back with post-traumatic stress after witnessing the violence and participating in it. Well, these children, these teachers, you should be focusing on their mental health as well. And so I'm grateful anyway. Sorry to start off that way, but I couldn't begin without acknowledging what happened. And now I'm grateful that all of you are joining us here today. Natalie, thank you for that introduction and for doing such an amazing thing in Detroit. Detroit, making charges for electric vehicles in the Motor City, keeping going during the pandemic. And I wanted to welcome your son, Diop. Where's Diop? Oh, there you are, pal. How are you? You got to be proud of your mom. You got to be proud of your mom. And thanks to folks like Natalie in cities and towns all across America, we're seeing pride coming back. You know, there's nothing that just sort of saps the pride of a city or a town when they lose a business, lose a significant employer. It just feels like you got your soul ripped out. But for so many people, you're bringing so many people back. You're bringing back business all across America, not just in the East and West Coast. So look, SBA's Administrator Guzman, I want to thank you for everything you've done and for your team, too, supporting small businesses across America. We're also joined, as I said, by Senator Cardin, the chair of the powerful Small Business Committee, and literally, not figuratively, a true champion of businesses everywhere. And by the way, He's got more integrity in his little finger than most people have in their whole body. I mean, and most of all, thank all of you, small business owners and entrepreneurs who have joined us today. That includes 3 incredible panelists. Sarah started her business out of her apartment with $5,000 in a startup capital, and now she built it just a little old billion-dollar company. Oh. As my mother would say, God love you, dear. Whoa. Guys, you're going to be okay. Melissa began her business in a kitchen while working on Wall Street. Now it's the largest black-owned makeup company sold in Target stores all across America. And Kyle combined her business training with her lifelong passion for dance and created an exercise platform that has been used in 2,500 cities around the world. And by the way, you were here a couple months ago, performing with the dance company for Diwali celebration. You got it all, kid. You got it all. I'm not sure what's in the cards today about dancing. I'm not making any promises, but just know she can. And these women know what it takes to start a company out of nothing and build it into something that's consequential. You know, and they know how many women out there have the talent, the skills, and the commitment to start successful businesses if they only had the opportunity. I used to have a friend who was a great basketball player, and his name was Pete McLaughlin. He used to say, you got to know how to know. You got to know how to know. And that's part of what the SBA is all about, letting people know how to know. Today, it's all about lifting up women entrepreneurs and making sure they have the support they need to succeed. The businesses represented in this room stretch across industries from restaurants to architectural firms to hardware stores, plus Jenny's splendid ice cream. And by the way, it is splendid. You think I'm joking. If I were allowed to take you upstairs, I got a whole freezer full of Jenny's chocolate chip ice cream. You know, it's pretty dull when you've been in public life as long as I have. You're known for 2 things, chocolate chip ice cream and Ray-Ban sunglasses. But what the hell, you know? Look, you're entrepreneurs, you're innovators, you're job creators, and small businesses are the engine of our economy. The absolute engine are the glue and the heart and the soul of our communities. 12 million businesses across America are owned by women, 12 million. Small businesses like yours account for 40%. You account for 40% of the nation's GDP. You create 2/3 of all the new jobs, and you employ nearly half of all private sector workers. For an American economy is to be strong, it's going to have a strong small business base. It has to be strong. We learned that again during the pandemic. When I came into office, this economy was reeling. Small businesses were hurting. Literally hundreds of thousands of small businesses had closed across the country. Millions of Americans, many of whom worked in small businesses, lost their jobs through no fault of their own. To jumpstart America's economic recovery, we needed to help the small businesses, and we needed to help them fast. So we got to work. I signed the American Rescue Plan. Since I took office, we've delivered more than $450 billion in emergency relief to 6 million small businesses to help you pay your bills, to pay your workers, to keep your doors open. We gave additional...
The incident where the officers engaged the suspect, we are assisting the Metro investigation. And the reason we've got Metro doing the primary investigation is because it was a fluid scene. So there wasn't a single stop in the action. And so as they investigate the homicides, then we felt it was most appropriate for them to continue that investigation. But we will assist as in our role as an independent oversight on the officer-involved situation. And so that will be the role of TBI. We too want to thank all of our partners. It is special. We've had this conversation, unfortunately, too many times in Tennessee, and that is that you wish you wouldn't have to do these types of scenes. But when you do, you want to have the working relationships that we have in our law enforcement community here in Tennessee. It is amazing. And we've all come together as one and working very tirelessly and we'll continue to work together to address this situation. It's a horrible, senseless tragedy, and we will be here working with our partners to get through it. And next, I'd like to introduce the District Attorney General for this area, Glenn Funk.
This is the ultimate crime when school children and caregivers are the victims of senseless gun violence. Can't say anything before we first express our concerns for the victims and their families and the extended number of victims that are traumatized by today's events. I came out on the scene today because our current operating procedure is that when an officer is involved in a shooting, the TBI comes out, and I knew that this was a unique case, and I want to make sure that everything was handled appropriately. Director Roush was out here almost at the exact same time I got here, and Chief Drake had already been on the scene for a while. The three of us met and talked about how the investigation was going to be handled. We made a joint decision affirming what the two law enforcement leaders, how they wanted to proceed, which was that Metro was going to handle the bulk of this, but the TBI would participate in a capacity to continue with making sure that we have transparency in everything, and to make sure that any backup that MNPD needs in this continued investigation will be provided. Can't not stress enough how seamlessly that worked to have a conversation, a decision to be made quickly and appropriately as far as how the case was going to be handled from here. Hats off to Chief Drake and to Director Roush. I also want to thank Chief Swan and our federal partners as well. While I cannot comment about the ongoing nature of the investigation, I'm really impressed with the work that's being done by law enforcement.
Yes, good afternoon. First, let me just say, as everyone else, what a tragic day here in Nashville. So our hearts and our prayers do go out to all the family members, and also the first responders that actually made this call. As always, the fire department and the Office of Emergency Management, our job is to support, and we were here at the beginning and we'll be here to the end. We just ask that everyone, again, as it was said earlier about prayer, we ask for that. And the ongoing support that's needed from our standpoint is to give support in any area that's asked for on the scene. So again, we thank you, and from this point forward, we'll just continue on with our mission and try to bring some type of closure and resolution. Thank you.
I anticipate there will be another briefing at or before 4 o'clock. We will entertain 2 or 3 questions at this moment before these gentlemen have to go back to the scene to continue their work.
Chief, you identified, did you identify the shooter in this case yet?
Yes, we have identified the suspect. It's a 28-year-old female white, actually a Nashvilleian, or lives in the Nashville area. We are having ongoing investigation as it pertains to her at this time.
Located her place of where she lived? You have officers there?
We have.
Was she wearing body armor?
Was she wearing body armor? I can't say that far into the investigation. I don't remember seeing it, but I can't say for certain if she had body armor on or not.
Did she have any connection to the church?
From my initial findings is that at one point she was a student at that school, but unsure what year, all of that. But that's what I've been told so far.
Did she give any word on social media, or has her social media been examined at this point?
The investigations are still going at this point. Our federal partners, our state partners, we're all looking into that to see exactly. This is still fluid at the time, but we're looking at everything.
Did anybody pull the fire alarm? Do we know?
Don't remember a fire alarm going off. I was told there were kids that evacuated into a wood line, had the presence of mind to do that, and to go to a fire hall. Once we arrived on scene, we had everyone moved to First Baptist Church, Woodmont, and that way we could get parents and children reunited, and then ultimately make the notification on the 3 kids.
Do we know yet if the side door she entered in was locked or not?
There was a door that was entered. All doors were locked to our understanding, and how exactly she got in at this point is still under investigation. There is a vehicle that was nearby that gave us clues as into who she was, and but as stated, that investigation is still ongoing.
Did the school have school shooter protocol?
They did have protocol. To my understanding, we had unfortunately 3 kids that were tragically hurt. It could have been far worse.
Okay, folks, we'll be back again before 4 o'clock. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, working on it.